If the RPG world has social media like novel review. After the summer, I took a look at the first volume of If the RPG World had social media manga adaptation and found it to be an entertaining read, which led me to wonder what the original light novel was like. Well, today I'm here to take a look at the source material and find out if it lives up to the enjoyment of the manga. Our story follows 16-year-old hero who can only communicate with those around him through text messages. One day, the princess of Kinta gets kidnapped by the demon lord and the king tells Hero to go rescue her. There's just one problem. Hero is incredibly weak. Thanks to the variety of curses between puts on Hero, he's incapable of even defeating the weakness of monsters. Luckily for him, the Demon Lord is really nice and after texting back and forth with Hero, she agrees to send out her demon generals to help him reach the castle. As it turns out, the Demon Lord is really nice and Hero is looking forward to meet her, especially after learning that the princess is perfectly happy living with her instead of back home. Hero even goes as far as to ask Demon Lord to marry him, to which she says he'll have to make it to her castle first. So what she chooses is a road trip of sorts. When Hero trains to become stronger, the no benefit he has to be said will be protected by the demon generals that join him. Together they visit a variety of places and fight against powerful monsters. Although while communicating through text messages and dreaming of an end of the journey together, what's particularly interesting about If the RPG World has social media is that 85% of the story is told through images and chat logs. Each page has one or two images in the back and forth chat between the hero and other characters, complete with colorful pictures and sometimes emoji. This is a concept that works quite well, even if it takes something getting used to in the beginning. The story, for the most part, is a very fantasy fair, complete with the fairly stereotypical OP characters. The blossoming relationship between the Demon Lord and Hero is sweet, but everything else is fine but forgettable. Of the four demon generals that join Hero, you have to fall into a beastman who speaks like a cat for some reason, a masochistic vampire, and a delinquent ogre. All these characters fall into the tropes you would expect for their excursions, which is a shame. That said, I did enjoy the plot until the final chapter when it became clear nothing was going to be fully resolved. And then it's a quiet opportunity to give their SCP another volume in Japan. In other words, this one numbered, it's just not satisfactory. However, with all this sounds okay, there's much bigger problem with this release. When it comes to the next messages image, here's ongoing. Messages are white text on a gray background with this are near unreadable in the physical version, and you go outside to struggle to read some of them, and the free animal with slightly sight impairment will struggle with this. Out of curiosity, I took a look at the previous Book Walker for the digital version of what it does look a little better. The contrast is still terrible. A rather strong test with its copy failed, coming out as a 2.21 ratio, but it should be 4.51 for normal text. This is unique to the English version either, since its review with the digital Japanese release is simply difficult to read. Because of this, I highly recommend check out the web review for yourself before purchasing to see if you will struggle or not. But generally speaking, I find it almost impossible to recommend this release because of this issue. Instead, I suggest taking a look at the manga. If the RPG world has social media comes to the West, thanks to Young Press and has been translated by Daniel Luke Houghton. I'm not sure this is the same translator as a manga, since there is a translation credit was simply Luke Houghton. Either way, the translation plays well, and there's certainly a lot of convincing use of emoji and chat speak through the text messages. Although there is an illustrator created for the book, Yukinatsu Amekasi, here are less the 5 images in the world volume, including the opening color page, largely due to the prominent text books there instead. Overall, if the RPG had social media, it's okay to read with a big readability issue to make it incredibly hard to recommend. Readers, if the premiere interests you at all, then 100 suggest just opting for the manga version instead. 5 over 10.